So today we are going to discuss a important derivation that is known as the excess pressure inside a liquid drop. Now, when we consider a liquid drop, the shape of the liquid drop is spherical, right? Now here you can see that there are two types of pressure. One is outward pressure that is given by the atmosphere, that is represented by P naught, and there will be pressure which is acting in the internal side of the liquid drop, so that is given by the liquid molecules, so that pressure is known as the PL. So that is the liquid pressure, so that will act outward direction. And there will be another pressure due to the surface tension, because you know that surface tension will be acting in the internal direction, so that is given by PT. So that means we can say that the pressure due to the surface tension will be acting in the inward direction, and the atmospheric pressure will also be acting in the inward direction, but the liquid pressure will be acting in the outward direction, as it is represented by the arrow sign that you can see in the diagram. Now here, if you see the liquid drop shape, the outward portion will look like a convex part, and the internal side will look like a concave part. So what we can say that since the pressure on the internal side is greater, so we can say that pressure on the concave part is greater compared to the convex part. So here I have written pressure of convex part is less than pressure on concave part. And what will be the excess pressure? So the excess pressure is given by concave part pressure minus convex part pressure. So that is given by P excess equal to minus P convex plus P concave. So this can also be written like this: P concave minus P convex. So here I have written the terms: P naught is the atmospheric pressure, PL is the liquid pressure, and PT is the pressure due to the surface tension. So how many types of pressure are acting in the inward side? That is two types of pressure. One is liquid pressure, another one is pressure due to the surface tension. And how many pressure are acting in the outward side? That is only because of the atmosphere. So that is given by the atmospheric pressure P naught. So there are two types of pressure which are acting in the inward direction, and only one pressure is acting in the outward direction. So that is given by the liquid pressure. So at equilibrium we can say that inward force balance the outward force. So what are the inward force? The force due to atmosphere plus force due to the surface tension. And what is the outward force? That is given by the force due to the liquid pressure. In the diagram you can see liquid pressure is acting outward, but the atmospheric pressure P naught and the pressure due to the surface tension is acting in the inward direction. So by writing the force as pressure into area, we can say that force due to atmosphere will be P naught plus into pi r square, where pi r square is the radius of the liquid drop and P naught is the atmospheric pressure. Similarly, we can write for force due to surface tension, so that is given by tension capital T into 2 pi r, because if you see the formula of surface tension, that is equal to F per unit length, so it is given by force per unit length. So force will be how much? Cross multiplied surface tension into length. And what will be the length here? It is the total length of the circle, so that is given by circumference. So that is equal to 2 pi into r. And what is the force due to the liquid pressure? That is given by pressure PL into pi r square. So by simplification we can get the value of PL minus P naught, so that will come out 2T divided by capital R, where capital T is the surface tension and capital R is the radius. So this is one of the very important expression for excess pressure. So if in the exam it comes to write the expression for excess pressure, so that is given by difference in pressure of liquid minus atmospheric pressure. So that is known as the excess pressure. So this is only for a liquid drop. Now suppose it is not a liquid drop, but it is a soap bubble, then what will happen? Now for a soap bubble, since there are two surfaces, so we can simply multiply the expression of excess pressure by 2 times. So if we multiply, then for a soap bubble the excess pressure will come out 4T divided by R. So I think this derivation is clear to all of you. So let us move to the next topic. So our next topic is angle of contact. So what is angle of contact? What we understand by angle of contact? So we have seen that in many cases, the when we immersed any object in the liquid, then sometimes the liquid wet the surface and sometimes the liquid does not wet the surface. So under which condition it will wet and under which condition it will not wet, so that depends upon the angle of contact. So what is actually angle of contact? So angle, it is the angle between the tangent drawn to the liquid surface and the tangent drawn to the solid surface. So this is represented by theta. So here you can see that in the first diagram I made the tangent drawn to the liquid surface and also the tangent drawn to the solid surface. So while drawing the tangent to the liquid surface, one point is very important. The direction of this tangent should be away from the solid surface. So in the first tangent, you can see in the first diagram that the tangent is drawn away from the solid surface. And while drawing the tangent for the solid surface, we have to draw the direction of the tangent towards the liquid. So here you can see that the direction of the tangent is downward. That means it is towards the liquid. So the angle between these two tangent is given by angle of contact. So in the first diagram, the angle will be acute angle, that means less than 90. So we can say that in this condition, the liquid will wet the solid surface. For example, impure water, methyl iodide. So here angle of contact is generally less than 90. Now in other case, you can see that in the next diagram, the angle of contact is greater than 90. So here it is obtuse angle. So here what will happen? It will not wet the surface. For example, mercury, the mercury which is poured inside the thermometer, it does not wet the glass surface. Why? Because the angle of contact is greater than 90. So when the angle of contact is greater than 90, it will not wet the surface. So I think this is clear to all of you. So very important part is how to draw the tangent. So while drawing the tangent to the liquid surface, the direction must be away from the solid surface. And while drawing the tangent to the solid surface, the direction must be towards the liquid. So that part must be given. And here you can see the example that if you pour a water drop and a mercury drop, then which will wet the glass surface? So obviously water. Why? Because we can say that the cohesive force between the water molecule is less than adhesive force between the water and glass surface. And in case of mercury, we can say that the cohesive force between the mercury and mercury molecule is much greater compared to the adhesive force between mercury and glass surface. So that is why mercury will not wet the surface. So very important application based upon angle of contact. So that is rise of a liquid in capillary tube. So here you can see a capillary tube is there and a liquid is filled up in the container. So here what will happen? The liquid will rise to a height h. So here we are going to calculate the expression for h. Now here you can see the meniscus surface. The upper portion of the meniscus will act as a concave part and the bottom part of the meniscus or the part which is below the meniscus surface, it will act as a convex part. And what we understand from the previous derivation that the pressure of the convex part is less than pressure at the concave part. So what is the pressure here at the concave part? So that will be the atmospheric pressure, because the capillary tube is open, so only atmosphere will apply the pressure. So what will be the pressure at the convex part? So that is given by P naught minus 2S by R, because already we have seen that the excess pressure is given by 2S divided by R, where S is the surface tension. So here you see the points that I have marked, X and Y, both are at same height. So we can write that pressure at the point Y is equal to pressure at the point X. So I have calculated separately pressure at the point X and Y. So at X the pressure will become P naught minus 2S by R plus H rho G, because the point X is at a height H, and at the point Y the pressure will only be the atmospheric pressure, so that is given by P naught. Now here you can see the excess pressure delta P, it is given by 2S by R, that already we have derived just now. So the pressure at the convex part is less compared to the pressure at the concave part. So if we equate the pressure at the point x and y, so then we can get the height expression. So that will come out 2s divided by capital R rho into g. So what is capital R here? It is the radius of the liquid drop. But here you see in the solving numericals, this radius will not be given to you. The radius of the liquid drop will not be mentioned. Instead of this radius, what will be mentioned here is the radius of the capillary tube. So how we can find a expression between the radius of the liquid drop and the radius of the capillary tube? So for this I have drawn two separate diagrams. In the first diagram you can see that the shape of the meniscus will be a spherical shape. So I've completed the diagram. So here you can see capital R represent the radius of the liquid drop and small r represent the radius of the capillary tube. So by considering the right angle triangle we can calculate cos theta. So cos theta will come out base by hypotenuse, so it will give you small r by capital R. So from here we can write capital R is equal to small r divided by cos of theta by cross multiplication. So if we put it in the expression for height, then it will come out. So if we write the expression, so it will come out 2s divided by r by cos of theta into rho into g. So finally how much you will get? 2s into cos of theta divided by r rho g. So where theta is the angle of contact, s is the surface tension, small r is the radius of the capillary tube, rho is the density of the liquid, and g is the acceleration due to gravity. So I think this derivation is clear to all of you. Now let us move to one simple question based on this capillary rise. Now the question comes that why the liquid level will rise up inside the capillary. Now that is a very important question. So we know that liquid always move from a high pressure region to the low pressure region. So here you can see in the diagram that I've made the meniscus surface very much close to the point Y. So here what we can say that at the point X the pressure will be only because of atmospheric pressure that is given by P naught, but at the point Y, so this is just like a, we can say this is just like a convex part. So here pressure at the convex part is less than pressure at the concave part. So how much it is less? So that is given by P naught minus 2s by R. So obviously here you can see that pressure at the point X is greater compared to pressure at the point Y. So what we can write that the liquid will flow from the point X to the point Y, and due to this reason the liquid will rise to the capillary. So here I have written Px is given by P naught only and Py is given by P naught minus 2s by R. So here it is clearly said that Px is greater than Py, so liquid will flow from high pressure region to the low pressure region, and due to this reason the liquid will rise in the capillary tube. So I think this question is clear to all of you. Thank you all of you.